amazing guests who will be taking us through monitoring with Cloudwatch on AWS. We have Cosmas, we have Winnie, and we have Noah as our guests. Also in the midst, we have two of my colleagues, user group leaders. We have Tony, Kirimi, and Adeline. Thank you so much. In the next 1 hour or 1.5 hours, we'll be taken through this session. And looking forward to hearing more from our guests. I guess we'll just chill. If you have any questions, you can post in the chat, or you can enable your mic and ask the question if you can. And towards the end of our session, we'll have a photo session moment. So I'll ask you to enable your cameras towards the end of the session to take a picture for the social media, as you know. Yeah, kindly disable your mic. There's some noise. All right. So welcome, Winnie. Take it on.
Thank you, Samuel and the team for having us here, and welcome for those. I hope my mic is clear.
Yeah, very audible, very audible.
Thank you for the confirmation, and welcome everyone. So, karibuni sana to our session. My name is Winnie Gakuru. I am a DevSecOps engineer at Safaricom PLC. I specialize in GitOps, also do microservice pipeline setups and support. With me is my colleague Noah and Cosmas, who will say more about themselves as we progress. So we work in the same company, the same team, and today we'll be talking about application logging using Cloudwatch and SNS. So I'll start by defining and expounding on the basics. Like, for example, by defining what is an application. An application log is a file of events that are logged by a software application, and it contains errors. Sorry, this part I'll not do like a presentation or something. So I'll take this this time to just talk about some of the definition and use cases, but my colleagues have some presentation, and at the end we'll also have a demo. Yeah, so an application log is a file of events that are logged by a software application, and it usually contains things like the error. We have the information, events, and warning, and you can save it in whichever format you want. So it's not limited. So you can decide it to be in a JSON format. It can be an XML, .emd, TXT, and even in a kind of console place. The log file can be used to review any event within the system, and that, as I said, it will include things like the failures, the state, and even the transformation. And with that, therefore, logging can be defined as the practice of logging errors and changes on the application being logged for the purposes of creating an ongoing record of application events. If I proceed to defining or expounding more on the benefits, or why would you consider logging, or why do you think logging will be beneficial for you? So to start off, the most common reason why most people start logging is usually for debugging or troubleshooting. So, but more benefits get accrued as the application grows. And you find it currently it's best practice to plan and design your application logging, especially if you're doing enterprise applications. So with time, you find even as a developer, there will be that need that logging for your application, especially for debugging. So if you're adding a new feature, you want to see how it's progressing, what kind of output or data is exposing and all that. And as you progress, you find that that logging becomes very crucial for that application. Yeah, another reason and benefit you find is logging can be used to understand the data flow in the application. And this comes in handy, especially to someone trying to understand the application architecture and the flow. So you, the developer, it may be easy because you understand the code, you're expecting what is next, but you're not going to maintain that application forever. And at some point, the application will grow. Sorry for that. The application will grow, and having that log, it will be able, the next person who will be maintaining or developing on top of that will use that logs to know the data flow. So you'll know after this maybe function is being called, I'm expecting it to go to maybe function Y and all that. So that will enable that person to have a overview or a picture of what the whole application is it's doing. So another benefit is a well-designed and architected logging system can be used in identifying the bottlenecks and potential issues long before they occur in the wild. So this means that as you create logging in your application, you should have in the back of your mind, how can the logs be used? In most cases, the logs are usually used to identify the bottlenecks and potential issues. So this introduces us to another term, which it's actually common in the industry now, and they call it proactive monitoring. So for you to talk about monitoring, the basic thing is you have to have that log. You have to know when the states are changing. And if you want always on applications that are not failing, they are highly available, and it's always on. So if your service is not reliable, you will lose customer. And even at some point, a downtime of even 2 minutes can be very costly to the organization. So with that kind of logging and monitoring, you find that you'll be even able to know when an issue has occurred before the impact becomes that huge and costly to the organization or maybe the service that you're providing. The other benefit will be logging also assists in auditing and compliance. And auditing and compliance is wide, but you get to know what kind of data your application is sharing. You find as you're progressing and data privacy is becoming a very key thing in the industry, just don't do application and just send it out to the wider community. These things has been ongoing with application like Facebook. We have seen how people are having issues with data privacy that Google and even Facebook companies people have issues like in terms of the data privacy. They say that they're exposing a lot of data. So as you and you find at some point it becomes very costly in case your application is not conforming to the policies that has been set. So for you to be able to know the kind of data you're exposing and all that, logging can be a very good key place to help to assist you with that. So then through logging, it also helps to monitor the application, and you can even automate the action to be taken in case a certain state has occurred. Yeah, this is also in line with what I've talked about, proactive monitoring. So you get to know at some point, actually, you can even predict based on the logging and the pattern that you've already accumulated over time using some ML, it's called what, yeah, ML application, you'll be able to come up with algorithms that maybe can even predict when something can can happen. And even you find that kind of data, the application logs can also be used to even predict high sell, low sell, and even the business can plan accordingly in terms of, in case maybe they're doing supply. So with a given month, we usually have high demand. So let's prepare in advance so that we don't have any shortage. Yeah, when you talk about, I've mentioned about proactive monitoring and MLOps and all that. So with that, for you to achieve that, you have to incorporate monitoring tools. And I think we can mention some like Datadog, we have Dynatrace, and even among others that will come in handy. You have to plug them together so that they will work and you'll be able to achieve end-to-end automation through that. Yeah, so we have talked about the benefit and all that. As much as we have really highlighted the importance of logging and all that, there's some guidelines and best practices that are advised for you to follow in doing the logging. And you just don't go and enable logging and log everything. So one of the best practices that I'll talk about is always have, or in your logging, always include timestamp. So as much as you may have a good quality of logs, you've followed all the other practices and your logs is okay, but if you don't have timestamp, you're actually creating some, I'll call it maybe chaos or frustration when someone is maybe reviewing the logs. You need to log and know even the exact millisecond that event occurred. So always include a timestamp when doing your logging and that one will aid almost all the benefits that I've talked about. So if it's about troubleshooting, you want to know when did this error occur, because you could be checking an error that occurred 2 years ago and was resolved, or maybe it was a one-time occurrence. It occurred maybe because of load. There was too much load within your application, and then you're not, and whatever you're troubleshooting at that point is not related to that log. So you want to know at what point and at what time did that issue occur for you to have effective and timely troubleshooting or debugging of whatever you are doing. The other thing is when doing logging, always have human readable messages. Yeah, so these logs are meant for human, not machines and all that. Don't add the complexities. We don't expect you to have the zeros and ones. It's hashed, encoded and all that. Always keep it simple, because the purpose of it is most of the time is to automate the actions that will be, yeah, so always you make it human readable, and that will make it easier for someone who maybe finds that log to understand it without maybe having to take extra things and save time. Then the other thing is log the source event. So if maybe it's an error, always include the source. So it will be easier for someone to know what caused this kind of log. If it's a certain behavior, you need to understand again what caused it, and having that immediately without maybe doing extra ClickOps to determine what caused it, it makes it easier and efficient. Yeah, the other best practice is always have different log levels. So in your application, you'll always have a lot of activities. You have mentioned about your change of states and all that. So it can be very overwhelming. Maybe you're looking for an error and then you're having a lot of information, you're having a lot of warnings, you're having a lot of just some weird logs. So when you have those levels and categorize them into levels, it makes it easier even for you, because if it's an error, you can just filter it very quickly and know how many errors are occurring, and you'll be able to know if this application is having a lot of errors. And actually that's reminds me, it adds to the importance of logging, because as much as people may not be complaining, you'll be able to quickly and know which service or application is error prone and it's producing a lot of errors, and you can fix it before maybe even the customer can complain. Yeah, the other best practice maybe I'll talk about is consistency, data type standardization. So if you have decided to use camel case, in this case, let me use that, please stick to it to the end. Don't mix around interchanging. And this does not just touch on logging alone. This goes beyond, it addresses even the coding standard, the software coding standard. So if this code, of which it's true, you'll not manage that code forever alone. So follow the standard. And one of the standard is on data type. So it also applies to the logging. Have a consistent data type all through. The other one is separate payload and log messages. You don't have to log even the payloads, because you have to consider things like the resources and all that. So separate it, the payload and the log. The other thing is, just don't log everything. You have to be considerate of things like resources. So if you log everything, you have to understand the relevant data point that you need to log within your application. And this will be addressing things like computing resources and space. So don't just log everything, filter across. Yeah, the other one is consider logging frameworks. So if you go back, you remember that the first logging things are usually within the application, like console.log, all that. But it's usually the best practice to use the framework, because of course they have consolidated some of the best practices that will assist you. And also it will make it even easier for you to integrate your logs to other third parties, as we will see as we progress. As I'm winding up, I would like to talk about some of the use cases. Yeah, so one of the use cases, subsequent failed logins can be logged, sorry, and an automated action can be added. So for example, if you're having a sensitive service, and then you can log to see maybe a particular login attempt. If someone tries to log in maybe more than 50 and it has failed, you can log that and maybe get to know that maybe this application is someone is trying maybe to do malicious thing to your application, and maybe you'll have to consider security things maybe to enhance on it and see what kind of activity were these people maybe trying to do. The other thing is logged data can be used to analyze the trend and even predict the user behavior. I think I've talked about it when we were talking about the reasons or the benefits of logging. So that data can be used, especially this is a direct benefit to the business. So it can be used to know the trend, and the business will be able to plan accordingly. The other one, and I think it's one of the best use case we use for it's for the critical and important services. So application that requires high availability, always on KPIs, to achieve this, you need to know almost immediately when application fails. And this can only be achieved through logging. So you have that you have your logs and you have set your metrics and everything in place. So in case something starts going wrong, you get alerted on time, and then you take an action before it has an impact. We'll say when you talk about critical things, people always think of machines within the hospital. Let's consider things like that. So before something totally goes wrong and have an impact that, of course, even money cannot reverse that impact, you find monitoring or maybe logging will come in handy, because it will notify you before things get worse. Yes. So through that, after doing the logging, one of the recommendations that you can give, or maybe amongst so many recommendations that are there within the best practices that I've shared, is after you've done the logging, it's good to always send the logs to a logging service. And one example of that logging service is Amazon Cloudwatch. And I'll stick with that example only because actually that is the demo and the presentation that we are doing that. And with that presentation, I will welcome my colleague Noah to proceed from there, and then we'll pass it on to my other colleague. Noah?
Thank you, Winnie, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Noah Makau, DevSecOps engineer, also from Safaricom. So today, just to pick up where Winnie has left us on, we're going to do just a small demo, a presentation, and then a demo by my other colleague. So tell me if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So today, as the topic mentioned, we're talking about automated application logging monitoring using Cloudwatch and SNS. SNS means simple notification service, and we'll be seeing it a little bit further down there. So we'll start our presentation with a small example. We have a guy called Tom. This is not Tom from Tom and Jerry, although he's one of my favorites. So Tom decided to have a very new application coming, but he was having some few difficulties here and there with his monitoring the performance of his new application. So the issues he was facing were some things like accessing the application error logs. Yes, he had the error log file, but also for him to be able to translate it quickly and be able to get a little bit of insights here and there was a little bit difficult for him. Also, getting alerts on specific actions that had been done or something that is going haywire was also a little bit hectic on his end. And lastly, more of observability of what he was looking at. That was actually the major issue, because you remember the log file is usually let me call it in a layman's language, gibberish, whereby you just see a lot of little sentences and numbers in between in there, some dates, some time, some error codes, which sometimes you might even not be able to know they came from which end of your application or from which end of your environment. So as Winnie has mentioned, monitoring is essential to ensure that all the services deployed either on cloud or on-prem are running smoothly and effective. So this is where we now look at Amazon Cloudwatch and a simple notification service, which is also another service that is offered by Amazon to help us keep track of things, or to help Tom keep track of things on his new application. So we might ask ourselves, what is Amazon Cloudwatch? So basically, this is a service that is deployed and built actually for us, DevOps engineers, IT managers, and even developers. And it provides for us with reliable data and performance, or even the resources that we have deployed on AWS or even on-prem. maybe like server metrics and such. So naturally, Cloudwatch collects all this data, this operation data in forms of logs, events, and metric sets, and provides a unified view for us so that we are able to see what is happening in any of the things. So if it is, let's say we have several servers and we need to see the CPU utilization, Cloudwatch can give us that utilization in a simple graph where we are able to see what is happening all through. So it has a free version and a paid version, where the free version is a little bit limited to monitoring metrics, API requests, dashboards, logs, and such. And the pricing also, for the pricing subscription, it depends with the quality of the matrices that you need. So Cloudwatch has two primary features. The first one is the login bit of things, and the second one is the metric. But it also has some other secondary features in whereby we will find something like insights on containers, unified view, and composite alarms. We also find insights on .NET applications or SQL servers in there too. So on our end, we are looking mostly on the logs, Cloudwatch logs, and the matrices, and then lastly we look at the alarms, the composite alarms onto all that. So my colleague will be displaying a little bit of more on those three under the Cloudwatch end of things. So we might ask ourselves, what do the logs help us with? So these logs enable users to collect and store customer logs for services like Lambda, API Gateway, or even on-prem applications. So those are gibberish lines that we saw being stored either in the local depository of the application can be collected and stored into Cloudwatch. The matrices, these are are just distinct matrices that Cloudwatch will be watching and be able to give a single location where we can see everything that we need. So an example is I would like to know the health of a server, its memory, its CPU, its disk utilization. So we can have that into one observe them fully instead of going into our server, either the terminal, logging in, trying to check on the memory usage, the CPU usage, and all that. Cloudwatch can provide us with such an insight. So we come and ask ourselves, what are the benefits of Cloudwatch? So basically, some of them are operational performance. They will touch on operational performance. They touch on insights, the metrics collections, where we can even have metrics stored on a predefined period. Let's say we want metrics back to 30 days or even 7 days, we can have them. And then a unified visibility. So basically, it's a single platform for observability. Collects for us matrices for both AWS and AWS resources and on-prem resources or applications. It helps us improve operational performance and resource optimization, because you will be able to see one side is either underutilized or overutilized, and then you take the necessary action, as Winnie has said, before the customer complains. And then gives us visibility and actionable insights from the reports that it will give us. You heard me mention one of the features was insight on containerization. This basically, it will be able to look at either health of our pods, containers that we have running either in EKS or ESC, and be able to give us insights onto that, on where to improve and where to tighten our belt on the same end. So my colleague Cosmas will be talking a little bit deeper into Cloudwatch. So I'll jump over to the next application that or service that we will be showcasing, and this is the AWS Simple Notification. So basically, this is a web-based service that it's easy to set up, operate, and even send notifications from the cloud. So remember, we have talked about alarms, whereby we might set a metric and saying, if this server gets to, it has 512 GB, let's say an SD, and then it gets to 100 GB or above 100, please notify somebody onto that. So just to automate that, it reaches that and the alarm goes off on Cloudwatch, then automatically a publisher will publish that is now maybe from the Cloudwatch Annum. It will publish to the topics, and then the topics will push to the subscriptions. So basically, the subscriptions are of two ways. You might want to be able to push it to something like Datadog or Splunk, that is now the app-to-app subscriber, or you might want to push it to somebody for some action to be taken. So you might either push it to their email, to SMS, or even to a mobile push where they will be able to see all that information. So we have three components onto this. That is now the publisher, whoever is now sending the notification to the topic, and then the topic pushes it to the subscriptions. The subscription then notifies or logs it into another application for actions to be taken. So basically, that is a simple way to explain what a simple notification service is and be able to get through it. So the next, my next slide, and I think second last slide, sorry, just a second. Yeah, basically it's more of a use case of what is happening. So you might find our publisher here. You can say I have an S3 bucket or an EC2 instance or even the Cloudwatch alarms. This one published directly into a topic. So the topic knows if I get such a kind of a push from the publisher, then I will need to do ABCD, either do subscribe that into an Amazon Lambda, or even Splunk, or even push an SMS or an email to a person to be able to take action. So basically, this is more of the flow of how now the SNS service works onto that. So up to that point, I will now push it over to Cosmas to be able to take us through now a deeper understanding of the two services that I've just introduced to you. So Cosmas, over to you.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, so for the demo, we will have an application. First, we have a demo application, a Python application that does some stuff. So let me just explain using the README file. It will be a bit easier. So we have our application. The simple application, what it does is, let me move this to the top here. So the simple application, what it does is we have a product, a class, a discount class, and a cut class. So the product itself, a user may come and provide some input. Maybe you want to get products, all the products we have in our list. Maybe you want to get a single product. Maybe you want to remove a product, and maybe you need to add, remove, fetch, and fetch one single product. When all those actions are done, we are going to log everything to a file. And no, we have this. We can either log to a file or to Cloudwatch. So we have a clause. We have a Boolean expression that checks if this is true, we do it. We log to a file and we log to Cloudwatch. Same thing for the discount. We can, so this is a discount. This is just a dummy class we created to showcase how we can log. So if a user enters a discount, you can either enter a discount. You can either enter a discount so that it's added to our file. You can get a specific discount. And what we usually, in this demo, we filtered discounts using a product ID. So let's say product 10, we want to have 20% off a fridge. So then the fridge, the product ID is 10. So you add a discount on that. And then we log all those changes as well. Same thing for the cut. So this is just a high level of what our application does. So in our application, these are the it's just a simple application, a Python application, and we linked it with Flux APIs, API requests to our function. So let's try one using Postman. So we have this collection here. I hope my screen is audible and I am audible as well. Yeah. So this collection, let's first start our server. So first of all, I'm gonna enable file logging. So this is the clause that I'm saying, that I mentioned here. That will be the one checking if we log to a file or to Cloudwatch. So for now, let's first showcase the demo for logging to a file. Since this is a demo per se, so you might find that I log some data, but it's just for the demo purposes. Yeah. So in our postman, let's try and get a product. We get first all products that we have in our specific data store. So here at the products, you can find we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and product ID 5. So if I want to get a product, I can send that request and I get it as a response, which is something that if you integrate with the front-end application, it will be done by the user, but they click a button and it will invoke the API. Same thing, let's try and get another product by now ID. And on the body, I need to provide the product ID, which is 5, which you notice that it's here. Yeah. So we've gotten another product, but now using the API. All those 2 requests, we are logging them here. So you can see, let me just showcase. So you can see we have gotten the timestamp is for now. So we first got a product and it's showcasing that, okay, this is the log level. So it's an info that we got a product and the ID is 1 and yeah, and the descriptions for the product. So yeah, and this is specified in the code level. We just specified on file. We specified a log message. So you need to provide the log level, the action, the function that was called. So this is the function that is called for every action we do. The details is what the function will output. And no, the output is what the function will output, and the details is more information on what was done. So in our case, if you look here, we have our log level, which is the info. The timestamp is when the action was done, and the output is what specifically was outputted by the function. Now, for file, we don't provide the description. For this demo, we didn't specify it for the file, log to file. But now for cloud, we want to have our logs somewhere on Cloudwatch. Let me save something. Oh yeah, so maybe my colleague can assist in answering. So this is the demo we had for the logging to file. So it's just a simple debug.log file is created. And we know it's not, we just use the JSON structure for this. Now on cloud, what we'll be creating. So we go to our Terraform demo. So the flow will be, our logs will go to our log group, a Cloudwatch log group, which we create. Then we create a log stream. So a log stream will contain our logs specified, especially like now it will have all the logs that we push with the function. Then you can filter the logs depending on the pattern. Let's say you get a pattern. You want to filter add products, you can provide a pattern. It will be able to filter. And the good thing with Cloudwatch, from a filter log, you can create a metric filter so that you can view how many filters are matching, how many logs are matching this expression. And you can create multiple metric filters. And for the metric filter, you can provide a dimension. So the dimension, it will also assist us when you go to the metric namespace, filtering the number of times, the count specifically, how many times an event is pushed. You see here on the metric filter, if you create, if you get, let's say, add product 3 times. Our metric filter pushes to the namespace those 3 times. So for the metric filter, we specify that you push a value 1 anytime you get a hit. So for the dimension, if it gets 3 hits, you have either 2 options, or you can do both of them, which we're going to showcase in the demo. You create from the dimension, you create a widget, a metric widget that is either a graph, and you have many options. You can create a line graph, a bar graph, a gauge, a pie chart. It's whatever you want. And then from that widget, you can create a dashboard. Now, the dashboard will be showcasing all your metric, all your widgets in one place, which will help in the observability. Now you can be able to see on this day, discount code X was used 50 times, or product Y was fetched 100 times. So you can know, like, this is where we push ads to this page, or if this product page didn't have many hits, maybe there's something we need to do on this specific product, and increase sales or something. So that's an example. Another thing you can do from the metric dimensions, you can create an alarm. So the alarm, it will be checking this value. Let's say we pushed our filter logs, we checked how many times that product was added. Let's say 3 times. Our metric filter will push 3 hits to the dimension. Then the dimension will go to our Cloudwatch alarms. Our alarm will be checking a threshold. So you can set a threshold of, let's say, 10. If you get more than 10, send us a notification that, okay, 10 products were added. So you can know, maybe for reporting or anything. And then we route our Cloudwatch alarm to our SNS topic. Yeah, so this is what the high level, what we'll be doing. Now, we'll go to the code itself. So in this demo, we are going to use Python, and we are going to use Terraform for the showcasing. Python will be for the application, Terraform will be for the infra build, because we have to create multiple resources. We'll have to create a log group. Inside the log group, let's take a demo function, for example. You need to go and provide a log stream. And then from the log stream, you need to provide a metric filter. Yeah. So this is not the demo function that I'm showcasing. We're going to create one. And then the use case, the good thing with automating your infra is that, yeah, I think someone was talking, but okay. So the good thing with automating your field infra is you can be able to tag it as well. So you can, maybe in the cost dashboard, you may want to view how much does a project cost us. So tagging will be a bit easier for you. Then from the log group, so you finalize on the log group. Now you go to our metric. So on our metrics, we can create a metric namespace, and from the namespace, you can provide a dimension on where the function you're creating will be using. So I'll show one that we had created before, and then I show one that we will create on the demo itself. So if we take an example of this action dimension, you can be able to see that it provides specific actions for whatever log filters that you have. So all these entries that you see here, they were log filters before, and you can be able to view, like, a discount was added. Let's say you may change your graph, you may decide to change your graph to a gauge, and you view, okay, these are the numbers. Since it's a log group that was deleted, you may not view any values here. Then, so this is what was the metric widget, one of them. Let me test. One is a metric widget. Then from this specific metric widget, you see you can create an alarm here, which all the events that are going to the dimension that are mapped to this dimension under this specific level will be going to the alarm, and then the alarm will later be triggered. You get a notification or anything. Then what we need here is an alarm. You need alarms that are specific dimensions that are found, or maybe you just want an alarm that if a log is matching a filter is found, you can create an alarm from it. So alarms can be created from 2 ways. You can create an alarm in this demo, you can create an alarm, you route it to your Cloudwatch, these dimensions here, or you can create it from the log stream itself. The metric filter, if you create a metric filter, you can attach an alarm to the metric filter. For this demo, we're not going to do this specific step because we needed to create widgets from those specific hits, the dimension. So we are going to do it on this specific step. So you're going to create an alarm from this dimension that is hit. Then it will be showcased here. And on the alarm, we can route it to an SNS topic that we create. And on the SNS topic, as Noah had mentioned, you can route it to an email, you can route it to many things. So we'll create also, aside from the SNS topic, what also we'll create is a dashboard that you can be able to view easily. You don't need to go query your logs one at a time. It will be a bit easier. Yeah, so up to there, if there are no questions, you can start with showcasing the structure of our Terraform file. So on our resources here, first of all, we're going to create an SNS topic that we'll be able to communicate with. But here the order doesn't matter. But the first thing that will be created is the log group. So the log group, and here we are providing, we'll be retaining our logs for 1 day. Since it's a demo, they didn't want to incur any costs that were not needed. So we're going to provide, here you can change to your liking or to your application's liking the number of days you want your logs to be retained. Then from the log group itself, you can create a log stream. The log stream is where your application will be sending data to. Then from provide that metric filter that I mentioned earlier. And the metric filter, we had mentioned that it needs a pattern. So the pattern is what will be filtering our logs to see if a specific pattern matches. Then on the metric transformations, you're going to need a metric namespace. So you can either create one or use one that you already have. So many people usually use, you may create one or may use one that is existing. Then a metric value and the metric name. So, and also we needed the dimensions that I had mentioned, that this dimension will be mapped to specific graphs. Then from there, once you've created our metric filter, we jump right into creating an alarm. I'll go back to this dashboard later. So on your alarm, we can create what the alarm needs is the statistic. So the statistic is what are we checking our values that the metric filter had on. So you can either check on average, how many times on average are you getting? The number of times, you can use count as well. You can sum them up. You can do, I think, once we create it up, we can see all the statistics that you can use. And the period is how long our alarm will be checking the logs for. So in this specific instance, we'll be putting a day as well. Here is the most important thing, the threshold. For our threshold is what is the base value that we want our alarm to be checking against. So if our threshold is 10, so our alarm will be checking on 10. And here the comparison evaluator is what it is going to check, like, is it greater than or equal to 10, less than or equal to 10? Yeah, so we have that threshold and the operator. And yeah, then we also need to provide the dimensions here as well for our alarm so that it can pick those values. What also we needed, this was just a bonus, we added a composite alarm. So the composite alarm is we didn't want to add those, you see in the alarm, you mentioned that you can provide an action to be done. So when you have composite /parent alarms, you don't need to do it for all the child alarms. So you can have a parent alarm that is the one that is going to go into an alarm state or send a notification when something happens to other alarms that are its children. So the composite alarm it's going to be like, it's gonna bundle up all the other alarms that we're gonna create, and this is the one that is going to send our notifications to SNS. Now, if we go to the dashboard itself, the dashboard here, you're gonna create widgets. So this one, live data override, it's just showcasing that the widgets are gonna use live data as it comes. Then the widgets is, we're gonna create a widget and we are gonna map them via the metrics I mentioned. So you can view that this is the dimension that we have, and you provide the metric. So then the demo metric in this case for add a product is, we add a product, and the dimension is, we filter using is the function name. But this function name is what we push on our Python script here. So you see, this action name is the function that had sent logs. Yeah. So after that, we just these are values that we provide to our metrics as well. The live data, where it's gonna be on the y-axis, the period in which we're gonna filter, and if the period is gonna override, the dashboard period is gonna override the metric periods as well. Yeah, so this is the code itself. For our code, I keep going back and forth through points. So our code, our Python script, we are gonna use Auto3 package to send logs to Cloudwatch. And these ones are hard coded, but yeah, I can maybe next time we can store them as variables and v variables. But when we are sending our logs to Cloudwatch, we need a log group name and a log stream name, and the event indicated for here in the log message. And when you send logs to Cloudwatch using even the AWS CLI, you need the timestamp and the message. So the message is what we create here using this map, and then the timestamp we generate using int function. We just get the specific time that function is being done, and we create a timestamp from it. The sequence token, we get it that it's gonna assist us to send us logs, and yeah, so it's also something that we need for sending the logs. So I'll share the GitHub repositories for both of them once we've created the resources. But for this demo, to send to Cloudwatch, we first start with creating our infrastructure, as I had mentioned. So if we start here, we need to just create everything here, and we need to provide on a terraform.tf files, we're gonna provide the name of the Cloudwatch log group name and the log stream name, as well as we also provided outputs, the outputs that we're gonna get after our script has run. So on the terraform.tf files, I'm gonna provide the log group name. So I'm gonna give it a name like demo store log group. So that will be the name of our log group name, and our log stream name is gonna be demo store log. Yeah. So these are the ones that we are gonna create right now. So first of all, we are gonna do Terraform plan, view how many, what infrastructures or resources we are gonna create. Yeah, so as you can see, we're gonna create 26 resources, and we're not gonna destroy anything because this is a fresh demo. And if you notice, for all our resources, we are also tagging them. So you don't need to go and tag them one by one. Yeah, so if you're gonna create 26 resources, it's gonna be 26 because we map where it's gonna go through every product config discounts here that are matching our postman requests. So here you can see there, for the cart, we're gonna create 3. The cart has 3 requests, product has 4, discount has 3. Yeah. Now, first, what we need, because our Python application will not be able to send logs anywhere if you don't have the log stream name. And our plan has passed, we need to create them. So we do Terraform apply to approve. For someone. Yeah. Yeah. So it has started creating, and I can go now to our console, Terraform, to our AWS console. Now, if you see here, first our log group. Our log group is created, and the metric filters are there. So we start with the log group. Going through this documentation, our log group is already created, and it's already tagged as well. Fully the tags are there, yeah. Then we do have our log stream, which has nothing as per now. Then we have our metric filters. We have 10 metric filters. So for one metric filter, if I go and edit, you can view the pattern. So here, we provide the filter pattern in which we're gonna go through our logs, all of them. Then from the pattern itself, we have the filter name. The filter name is just what you're gonna call your filter. So in this case, for this instance, it's called add discount. Then for the filter pattern is the filter that we had provided in the previous step. We do have a metric, demo metrics namespace, and yeah, that is the metrics namespace we're gonna create. And what metric? What's the name of the metric that's gonna be pushed to our Cloudwatch metrics here? We provide the name as add discount, and this is the value that is gonna be published anywhere, anytime a pattern occurs. So if you get a hit on this, you get sent. So at least you know that these logs, there are 10 logs that are matching, add to that, 10 logs that are matching, add to discount. Then our dimension name, we provide it here. So the dimension name, from what we added, is gonna be the head or the name of the specific, when you're logging it. You see here, when we logged it, we provided the top level log message, this store demo action. That is gonna be what you're gonna filter against. Yeah. So you provide it here, and it's gonna be the value. Then, yeah. So that is one metric filter. Then from the metric filter, we were supposed to go to view our metrics. Keep in mind that this architecture, this infrastructure we've created doesn't have anything as per now. So if you go to our all metrics, let me refresh. If we go to it can log, and can open this from here then. So if you go to all metrics here, and be able to see that demo metrics doesn't have our specific metric filter because there's no hit. It doesn't have our metric dimension because there's no hit that has been sent. Our metric dimension was called demo action. So it's not yet here because a hit hasn't been sent. Yeah. Then we have our alarms have been created, and you can see from our script I mentioned that we are gonna put them. If you don't get any data, you just assume that the alarm is okay. So treat missing data, the alarm is not an alarm. Yeah. So we have our alarms here, and the warning that we are getting from this composite alarm. So you see, this is a composite alarm, and the children are these ones, the ones that we created. So if any of these go into alarm, the specific parent alarm will go into an alarm state and send notifications to our SNS topic. And a dashboard also has been created, which doesn't have so the sales demo has nothing. You can see it's just, it has those widgets themselves, but no data associated with it. Then if I go to SNS as well, and view a topic, and our topic doesn't have a subscription, but it has the tag. So the subscription will add it later to showcase once an alarm goes into alarm stage. Now, we have already gotten from our Terraform apply, we have a log group name and a log stream name. So the log group name is called demo store log group. We need to provide it to our Python script at the top level where we specify the log group. So you just need to change it here to the name of the log group. Then the log stream name we provide it here as well. Yeah. Up to there, I think we are good. Then let's start our Python Flask application. So it's running on localhost. So if I go to Postman, and let's say you want to do the first iteration for all these events. So just go and run our collection one number of times and we run it. Now you see it's already run. So it's already finished running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 requests. Now if you go back to your Cloudwatch log group that we created here, and you go to the log stream. And let me refresh it. Oh, sorry. The reason we are not seeing them is for our store, we didn't change the logging to false. So if the logging is false, as per our diagram here, you see if the logging is false, which is no, it will log to Cloudwatch. So we need to redo. We stop our server and we start again. Yeah. So yeah, so the server is started. Let me run again. Yeah, so it's added the first add to cart, remove cart. So it's already adding them. And you can see from the console, our logs have been sent successfully for this specific function. Now, if we go to our log group, let's go to our log group now. We need to view some specific logs are here. Yeah, as you can see, we have in the demo log group, we have our specific logs here. So we have for delete actions, we put them as a warning. Yeah. Then info is when someone tries to fetch a discount, a cut item, a product, or a product, products or a product. Yeah. Then if you go to our metric filter, you can be able to view the dimension is store demo action. It's mapping to this specific dimension. Now, remember our metric filters here, we didn't have that specific metric dimension. But if I refresh now, you can be able to view it. It's here, the store demo action. Yeah. So the store demo action is the one specified. Let me just get here. It's the one specified here. Store demo action is the name of the function, and is the one that we specified in our Terraform script as well to be our dimension value under resources. We provided it as a dimension. Yeah, so the dimension of store demo action has been sent to our metric namespace. Then from there, you can be able to view. Let's view one widget. Here, we've not done anything manually, so we've just automated it. Now, if we want to view a get product, then you go to graph metrics and we change it here to count how many times you've been able to view it. We change the value to a day, and here as well, we change it to a day. Then options, sample count 1 day, then options gonna be a page. Minimum, let's say our minimum value for our products, let's say it's 100, and like be able to view under specific product. So this one is we are doing it manually, but for the dashboard it's already done. So you can be able to view it, try to get our product 3 times. So if you go to the logs and try to view this pattern, so the one that I have checked is get products. So if we find our get products metric filter here, and this is the filter pattern. Let me reset. This is the filter pattern. If you go to our log stream and filter, no, sorry, you need to go into the specific log stream and get our products. You see, there are 3 of them. So a product has been gotten here. We've gotten a product as well, and we've gotten a product. So the product, our log filter has matched 3 times. So a hit of 3. This is 1 hit, another hit, another hit, and they have been sent to our dimension with a value of 3. So what this means is our get product function was called 3 times by a user. Let's say a user trying to get 3 products. So you can maybe they want to send buy a product, you can view these are the specific products they try to get and maybe do something about it. Then our alarms are not actually have gone too early to the alarm state. Now we need to go to the dashboard. The dashboard that was created, you see it's empty right now, but if I refresh, yeah, so you can be able to view how many times. If you notice here, this is only 1 widget. Yeah. What of all other widgets? You can also come and browse here, which is going to be tedious because you need to check all of them, go to graph metrics, change the statistic and the period that you want to view your specific widget. Then you need to provide here the number as well. But what if you just want to wake up and just see how many times have people added to the cart? Just come to the dashboard itself. Yeah. Then you can be able to view remove product has been called 1 time. Has been called 3 times because if you notice in our function here, we do have this specific when we are getting a product, we need to get the product itself. But when you are getting a cart, you have a product ID. So we need to get the products and then filter by ID. Same thing for get discount and get product by ID. So that's why it's 3 times. Then we do have a value less than minimum. You remember in our script here, we provided that the maximum in our script here, maximum. So for add metrics, let's say our minimum is 5. So in a day, you need, let's say, 5 hits on add product. Maximum, let's say, on a very good day, you need 1,000. So you may want to view like, let's say in a day, if you get less than 5, you have an alarm for it. Greater than 100, you have an alarm for it. Maybe an alarm for rewards will be getting greater than 100, then an incident will be getting less than 5. Yeah. Then you see in our specific dashboard, we do have all those values. And if you notice, none of our alarms have gone into an alarm state because if we go to all alarms, they are all gonna go into alarm when we have greater than or equal to 10. So if add discount has 10 hits, go into an alarm state. So this one, this value, you can specify it yourself for each alarm you want to create. And you change it here on our var file. We have this where we put it as a threshold. So you can change it to, let's say, get product by ID. Maybe people can be fetching 1,000 products. So you can provide it as a threshold here. Now, I don't know if there are any questions before I go to demoing alarm state. Yeah. They're being answered on the chat. Okay. Now for let's demo an alarm state now. So on Postman, you can try and run this connection. Let's say a number of, let's say 30 times. Let's give it fast so I don't stress my internet as well. Let's give it an iteration of 6. Yeah. So this request will be sent a number of 6 times for each request. So if you run it, our application as well is receiving the hits. So a post request is being sent. And if you view our logs here, you can be able to view, even if you go to our log group and you go back to the log stream, you can see them, they are coming as we go on. Yeah, so you see they're being brought in. The last one was add discount, get discounts, and you see there are more coming in. And from the logs, there was this pattern that you created. When you create the pattern for this one itself, you need to filter by the top level key. So if I want to get all that are log level is equals to info, just need to, this is the structure, you just provide the start get, then $sign, then you provide log level, then what should it be equal to? What is the value of this key? So you provide it here and then you close it. Now, if you filter, you can be able to view all the ones that are in info. What if we want to only view the info and those levels that are info, but only get cut as well? So you want to filter twice. Let me see if this will work. And provide this as well. But now we are filtering by the store demo action as well. Now we want to get cut only. So demo action is equals to get cut. Will it work? Yeah. So you can be able to view all logo level instances that are info and get to cut are here. Yeah. What if you want to view only the ones that are warning? You can view them as well. There are some that we had created that are on the warning. So maybe a warning is how many times you are deleting or editing. You can view them here. So level warning can view something has been removed from the cart, removed product, removed discounts, and all that. Yeah. 6 iterations have gone through. If we go to our specific graph here, which we don't actually need to use now because we have the dashboard. On the dashboard, if you refresh, you can be able to view 10, get product by ID has gone in 10 times. Let me refresh the whole page. Yeah, so what we expect from our logic is these two should go into an alarm state. So get products and get product by ID should go into an alarm state. So let's give our alarms a bit. Actually, you see one of them has already gone into an alarm state. Yeah, 3 of them. And if you go to our parent alarm, you see, if you notice, only actions are going to be sent to our parent alarm. And this one we forked with SNS, though I have not provided the email, which we provide. If you go to the store parent alarm and you view the actions, you can be able to view for all the alarms that are children of this very specific parent alarm. Now, for a specific item like this one, you can be able to view something went into another. Let me just open for get product alarm. Get product alarm, if you go to the actions, actually the history, and you view, you can see our threshold is 10. Yeah, but we got a value of just a bit. Yes, I can't find it. What was our get product value? Extend. Let me get products as well. Yeah, so you see our sample count is 10. Our value is 10 and our threshold is 10. That's why it went into an alarm state. If you go to a specific one like get product by ID, so this is get products. So same thing for get products as well. It went into an alarm state. Yeah. So I think that is what we wanted to showcase. Then SNS topic was created, and then you can hook your subscription. The subscription you can provide the endpoints you can have. You can send an email, and you just need to provide the email where your notifications will go through. Even you can provide the filter policy. You can even try and filter the messages that are coming to your SNS topic. You can also send it to another AWS service like Kinesis, SQS, or Lambda, and maybe do some more stuff on your specific alert. Yeah. I don't know if I've gone, but yeah, I think that is the demo. Yeah, Noah, you can take it back to Noah.
Thank you, Cosmas, and for that elaborate demo. So you see, with that now, Tom, with this new app, he is able now to see how many requests, how many people are trying to delete products or add products into their carts and such. So basically, that was our demo up to that point, just to showcase how you can monitor an application using Cloudwatch and even send notification via SNS in case of anything that needs to be notified. So I think we can open the floor to any question or comments. I can see most of them have been answered on chat. I can say back to you. Is it Tony or Samuel? Is it Samuel around? It's Tony. I'm Adeline, the host. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Winnie, and thank you, Cosmas, for a very nice presentation. Maybe for the benefit of everyone, also you can share the GitHub links on the chat. Maybe for anyone who wants to go and have a look at their free time. But from my side, I think I would say that I'm happy. I'm very excited of the presentation, and I hope that there are also other members of our user group, who have also nice stuff to showcase. They can give back to the community, as you've seen Winnie and Cosmas and Noah. I think I'm pretty sure they are also members, and they have shared something which is very educative and awesome. So from my side, I just want to ask maybe Adeline, if there is something you want to add. If not, we can switch on the cameras and have some screenshots, so that at least to record that we had an event. Adeline, from your side?
Yes, Tony. Okay, hi everyone. I just want to echo the presence of Celo from AWS. If you can say hi to us.
Hi everyone. Thanks for the intro. This was a great session, and I look forward to many more. And I will be supporting you guys.
Thank you so much for your time to attend our event.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tony.
Can switch on our cameras, and I take a screenshot at least, and yeah, we can see also each other. We see the faces behind the names, and then yeah, we can read them. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hi, Mohammed.
Hi Tony, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I truly enjoyed the session. So thank you for the presenters. It was good.
I also enjoyed very much. Please guys, you can switch on the camera so that I just I take the a nice screenshot, and then we can go and enjoy our weekends. Screenshot. Okay. Thank you very much, and I just want to wish you a very nice weekend. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bye, guys.
have a good weekend.
Okay.